What's up? Welcome to the Lawyer Henderson show. Today I want to do this special show. We're going to start coming on a little bit, a little bit more to talk about what's going on in news. What's going on around you guys. Um, Everybody, hit the thumbs up button. Also, don't forget that if you're on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And also, if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, also make sure that you hit the notification bell so that you can basically be informed and notified when I go live on YouTube, Instagram, or on Blog Talk Radio, which is my live streaming service. Um, all right, so today is going to be an interesting show because we're going to be talking about Kevin Hart. And as I told y'all, he is not funny. His antics and weak comedy criticized by Katt Williams, among other people. But before we get into that, we're going to be talking more over about other things. TMZ is reporting that Travis Kelce confirmed split with girlfriend Kayla Nicole, denies cheating rumors, but now it's coming that they're back together. So it was only like 3 or 4 months, and now they're back together. And Kayla Nicole, it's like you gotta watch out for certain types of relationships like this. This is, you can't warn Black women enough about these types of relationships. You have a white dude who basically is showing, I can get these beautiful Black women and I can cheat on them and stuff like that. And it's really what it is that it's just kind of strange. It's kind of strange how this stuff goes on because it's not the cheating, but it is more of, women thinking, specifically Black women thinking that the grass is greener on the other side. And they often would basically try to rationalize their relationship love. It start out good, and then you even have some white men who call you all kinds of nigger bitches in your relationship. Especially, and some of these Black women goes on Instagram and they go on YouTube and other places and tell us about that. They always say, well, it started out great. He was charming. He gave me a ring or he gave me a present, and then all of a sudden everything go downhill. So we got to be very, very well. Our women have to be very, very careful. Not me, because of course, I'm not into all of that. So we got to be very careful when we date like that interracially. That's for men and women. Okay. Um, but I wanted to talk about. I also want to talk about. Everybody is really thinking that they were announcing that Joe Biden really didn't win. The Trump administration and his legal team, they're still fighting in in courts. They're still fighting in courts. So we don't know if who really is the president. They said that there are certain types of people or somebody who have to certify the presidency for Joe Biden. So we're going to continue to look at that and follow those news. And we'll let you know. We'll stay up on you because the Lawyer Henderson show always, ladies and gentlemen, is on and is on for you. The number to call in is 516-418-5867, 516-418-5867. This is the Lawyer Henderson show. (516-418-5867). 516-418-5867. That is the number to call in. We're talking about Kevin Hart. Is Kevin Hart really funny? We'll be talking about that on the Lawyer Henderson show. That will be basically coming up here in just the minute. You do uh, have the right to call in to give your opinion about Kevin Hart. And we'll be talking about that a little bit later on. To go over other things, I wanted to say that too, if as well, if you have not gotten the book Foolish American Politics, Let's Discuss the Issues, my new book, Foolish American Politics, Let's Discuss the Issues, it's still available. Go ahead and cop that, go ahead and buy the book. So you will basically have information and knowledge, critique, um, about about what's going on politically. And in that book, I talk a lot about reparations. So y'all think that Conde, what's his name, Ta-Nehisi Coates, how do you say this man's name? Y'all think that he brought up reparations only in his book? Okay, I brought up reparations as well. Of course, there's plenty of other people that brings up reparations in their book as well. So, but anyway, I do in my book as well, Foolish American Politics. Let's discuss the issues. We were talking about Travis Kelce's girlfriend Kayla Nicole, and interrupting the gaming sex with ass shake aroma. Now, I told y'all that when the white media basically bring out these interracial relationships, remember, we already talked about Gabby Sidibe with her zaddy. There was a Nigerian woman, I think that they were going on some mountains and stuff. She was with this white dude and she got crushed. So it's kind of like weird that a lot of these black women, regardless of whether or not they here in the United States or they come from like foreigners, they're foreign black immigrant, and they're in these interracial relationships, and it's like all of a sudden, either there's like certain types of the chick go missing, or she get killed all of a sudden, or she start coming out telling us about all of these things that her zaddy have said to her, the racist comments that he makes and stuff. So this Kayla Nicole with this NFL player Travis Kelce, gotta watch out. We're just saying, and we already know that Gabby Sidibe's zaddy, he's only with her for the money. Like I said, she's worth what, $6-7 million, and she gets other roles in films and stuff like that. So he's in it for the money. You got to be very, very cautious in interracial relationship, because 9 times out of 10, it's not about the love. Okay, it's not about the love. You have to be very, very careful when people only going with you just because you're a millionaire, or just because you're bringing in money, or you got some status, legal status that can help that person get a job or something like that. You got to be very, very, very careful. And that's what we've been seeing throughout these relationships and interracial marriages, especially with the white couples going with black people. They've been only going with the couple because of money and some type of power and wealth and influence. It's not about love. It's about common interests. Amos Wilson talked about that, common interests. But today on the Lawyer Henderson show, stay at it. We're talking about Kevin Hart, and we're talking about how he is not funny. His antics and his weak comedy is criticized by Williams. Also, Tariq Nasheed also said that he's not funny, and Kevin Hart did respond to his backlash. 516-418-5867. That is the number to call in if you wanted to, give your opinions on Kevin Hart. And that will be this right now. We're taking your calls if you want to basically talk about it. But yeah, family, we got a lot of things to talk about. Obama, he just Obama just won't just go on a vacation and just live happy ever after with Michelle. He just, like I said, every time this man is coming out with a book, the white media brings him on to talk about certain things. He just won't go away. I was talking to one of my show guests, and he's, like I said, he's a Barack Obama fan, supporter, whatever. And I asked him, I said, why is this man still wanting to be in the limelight like he really did something? I mean, this is just, it's almost like, Obama, man, are you serious? I mean, other presidents, they stayed in the limelight for a little bit after they left office. You had Bush painting everywhere and whatever. But Obama is just obsessed with being in front of the camera. He's been used to, thinking that he can influence people. Remember, we went in a great deal about that. Yesterday, I think it was last week. Okay, so I'm just really upset about that. And it's like, man, he just will not go away. You know what I'm saying? 516-418-5867. 516-418-5867. Let's move on. Now, Kamala Harris, as you know, she's now going to be the vice president. She's the vice president when Joe Biden takes office next year. And they're already, he got mostly all women on his staff, on his administration, which is a very good thing. But we have to be very careful on how you look at a president putting somebody on their cabinet, all females. You got to ask yourself the question as to why that is happening. Okay? Because through women, of course, is where you basically is able, especially a woman of color, you're able to push things more and to make more people believe it. Like having Barack Obama, for instance, in the White House, push Black people to believe certain types of things. Well, Joe Biden is doing the same thing with women. He's doing the same thing with Kamala Harris. They're putting women in office so they can push this coronavirus vaccine on us. You understand? So basically women sells it more, just like women was selling the HIV/AIDS and stuff like that. And this is how your mind is not controlled. We as Black men talk about this all the time, where Black women, their minds are controlled by white men. So we basically, when we go to bed with women zombies. And the reason why I say that is because their mind is controlled by white men. That's the issue. And so, having said that, that's why they chose Kamala Harris. That's why Joe Biden chose Kamala Harris. That's why the white elitists and the black elitists, that's the reason why they're basically having a woman administration, because now that you're putting women in administrative uh, positions, they can help sell this vaccine more over to people, you know, and to other women specifically. But activist Tamika Mallory came out and she basically said that Kamala Harris is not a shoe in for 2024 with Black America, per activist Tamika Mallory. TMZ is reporting. You think Kamala Harris would have widespread support among African Americans if she run for president in 2024? But that's no guarantee, so says Tamika Mallory. Well, she don't have support right now. It's just that the white press is out there boosting her up, thinking that black people support this heifer. And they're going to always, you see, like I said, that's the reason why you know that Joe Biden really didn't win, because they kept on giving out all of these ballots. And they kept basically, as the number of ballots that was been sent to your mail, they send for instance, they send like 10 ballots to my house and wanted me to fill it out, and basically sent another little postcard telling me who to vote for. And it was nothing but Democrats on there. It's like, dude, you can't tell me who to vote for. And like I told them, I said, I'm not voting this year, really. And they had other people calling me, and they had a lot of people just calling me. They were texting, calling, wanting me to vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. So they put this scheme together, knowing that black men was not fooling with this ticket on the Democratic Party and trying to say that, oh, black people overwhelmingly voted for Joe Biden. But as Tariq Nasheed pointed out, if we look back at the election, the night of the election, when they claimed that Joe Biden won, remember, it stopped at 3:00, and it kept on finding a lot of ballots where Trump's were only with Joe Biden's name on it, because the white elitists, they're trying to sell this COVID-19 virus. And so that's the issue here now. And this is why they putting all these women, and that's why he's putting all these women in administration, because you basically get females to sell your ideology more over, because most likely they're going to be the ones who's going to, most likely, not all, but most of them will do everything that white daddy, white mommy says if they want to eat. A man is really objective to what white supremacy is up to, basically because we know that this is not right. We know what their game plan is. And we're the only one who specifically, as black people, have called out white supremacy constantly. But the article from TMZ go on to say that, they spoke with the world famous activist TMZ, whose speech about George Floyd steered the nation just a few months back. And she was clear. Vice President-elect Harris doesn't get the black vote just because the color of her skin. Tamika says Kamala will have to earn the black vote by living up to the promises she and Joe Biden have been making to African Americans ahead of this year's election. An election, she says, was to do or die to get Trump out of the White House. Now, I don't know if she said that, but the ideal here is that it doesn't matter if Trump is in there and Joe Biden is in there. Both of them, their whole strategy behind closed doors is the same. It's just that one is a nicer white supremacist and the other one be like, I'm just going to tell you straight direct. And so, like I told you in other commentary, black people like the soft core white supremacist because he smiles at them a lot. He basically, and even like I said, putting a black man in office like Obama, basically would help sell these lies and these false hopes to black people. That's the reason why black people are at the bottom of every political, social, and economic situation. I was reading, and when I was coming on, me and Tone talked, so we basically, I think, agree with this. But I was reading the numbers of how many businesses and money that we had during Reconstruction and when we were working with white folks. We also had the numbers of businesses and job that we had when we were segregated, when we were basically was not allowed to eat in white people's restaurants and things of that nature. And we learned that the black dollar did not really leave the black community. It took, I think, about 12 to about 16 hands before the black dollar left into the white community. Now, within 48 hours, the black dollar leaves real quick, real fast. And the reason why is because whenever you want to then sell something to a race of people, you basically start giving their women all kinds of handouts, all kinds of goodies. You start allowing them to basically get in all kinds of positions. Okay. And so, therefore, unfortunately, this is what Joe Biden is trying to do. Now, I'm not against women having these good jobs here, but to sell this COVID-19 vaccine to us, Joe Biden, along with the white elitists, they're putting all of these women in the administrative positions. Okay. Now, on the other hand, you heard when Trump was talking about, well, what if we look at the safety situation? He basically downplayed New York and Governor Cuomo as well because he said the vaccine won't come to New York or whatever. And the thing is that Trump was being so much stubborn to him, still, and he was talking about safety. He was talking about giving the vaccines to everybody, whereas Joe Biden just only wanted to specifically give it to only black folks and Indian people and other folks, so that we can be tested on the vaccine first. You see, and that's dangerous. That's the reason why you put women into those positions because they can sell things faster for you. And so, therefore, again, you got to be very wise. You got to understand. See, Asians, Chinese, and their women, they understand that the white supremacists know that they sometimes will give their women certain types of goodies. And you have black women, of course, unfortunately, who don't understand that you're not a different, separate entity from black men. You see, but that's what they were out here talking about. Oh, yeah, we built this huge coalition with Black Girl Rock and Black Girl Magic. And we did it. We got Kamala Harris out there, and she brought the black vote, and she did this and she did that. She didn't do a damn thing. All of this hype about Kamala Harris and Joe Biden having more support than Obama, this is a fairy tale. But they're going to keep on telling you that. Okay? We know that these mail-in ballots were rigged. Okay? You mean to tell me there was more people for Joe Biden than there was Obama? I don't believe that. But anyway, the bottom line for TM 2024 will be a normal primary cycle, and she says that Black America will have better chance to vet a candidate that best serves its interests, regardless of identity politics. If that's Kamala, great, but don't bank on it. You see, we basically, when Kamala was running by herself, we sent Kamala back packing. It is only Joe Biden who decided that I'm going to choose Kamala Harris because she represents being what a huge bedwench is all about in white society. She reminds of the female who loved her master, who was the bedwench, who did everything for the slave master. If the slave master wanted better sheets, she would make sure that the slave master had better sheets. If the slave master wanted better sex, she would make sure that her zaddy had the better sex. It was these types of women that are basically was really open to sell us the narrative. Now, she basically slept her way to the top, as we've been telling you about, and basically she was able to ride in fancy cars and stuff like this, all because she slept with a politician, okay, and she slept with Willie Brown, I think, who was the Speaker of the House at the time. So when she slept her way to the top, and now she's the vice president elect, she's telling black girls and Indian girls that you can be all you want to be. But then when you look behind closed doors, as I said in other commentary, how does she make it to the top? She made it to the top by being loyal to her zaddy. She made it to the top by saying that, oh, in order for you black girls and you Indian women or Jamaican women or whoever, in order for y'all to make it, y'all got to go get you a zaddy. You got to basically be able to, you have to sell out. Okay. You got to sleep your way to the top. And that's exactly what she represents. And we told you all about that. It was the black media who came out strong against Kamala Harris. How she laughed about putting black women in jail because of truancy, that their kids were not going to school, and the parents most of the time did not even know that the child was ditching, or if there was like a appointment that they had, and they had to go to the doctor or take off from work to take their child to any appointment that they have. Here come Kamala Harris. Oh, your child didn't show up for school. I'm going to basically put you in jail because you're not being a responsible parent. So we saw that in California with Kamala Harris. A TMZ report, and this is fair use, by the way, it goes on in this article with Tamika Mallory to talk about, well, we heard this logic before. Ice Cube was saying something similar not too long ago regarding his contract with Black America. Sounds like Tamika has a hard line she won't cross when it comes to DT, but the sentiment is similar. We should also note Tamika is wishing Biden and Harris all the success in the world and seems to genuinely hope that they can follow through. Fingers crossed. Now, I like Tamika Mallory. I think she's a great woman. Um, sometimes, like just like any other woman, other women, whether it be black, female, or Hispanic, they do Latino, whatever. They do try to play the both sides of the aisle, the both fields. But when you're up against white supremacy, you can't play both arenas. It just doesn't work. Either you for your people or you're not. White supremacy basically will call you out on it. Okay. See, Candace Owens already showed you that she's basically going to support white supremacy. She has a white boyfriend, which I have no problem with that, but she's already showing you that she is basically loyal. Okay. But what she's not going to understand, what she don't understand, is that when she get into her 50s, her white zaddy is no longer going to basically want her anymore. We saw this with I want to say Paula Patton. We saw this with, what's this woman's name? Stacey Dash. We saw this with also this other, what's her name? The model, supermodel, Tyra Banks. Her daddy is still after her. You see what I'm saying? These women who were basically attractive in the 90s, where men were basically wanting them so much, so desperately, are now looking for some young man to pick them up and sweep them up off the floor, and they're not doing it. So much for certain men who wants a 50-year-old woman, 40-year-old women. You see, you got to understand. We talked about this. Women are in their primes in 19 to 25. Men are in their prime starting at the time that we also get into our 30s and 40s, but we can then last all the way to our 50s because we still have the sex drive at that time. Whereas women's biological clock stopped ticking at a very around, especially around her 40s. Now, you might have some women having children at 48, but let's be very clear, okay? You got women like Gabrielle Union, who's very beautiful but can't have any kids. You understand? So we really got to understand what's going on as far as relationships because we've been feed. You see, the single parenting is very atrocious in this society. It has really destroyed a lot of women here. That they don't understand, they don't know what they're wanting in a relationship. They basically just destroyed their mentality, and then they try to pretend like they don't understand what a good man is supposed to be. When they start dating these thugs or these no good guys who've been in and out of jail, when they start selling their bodies and then decided that they're going to be ready to settle down with a man. You see, you get to understand that this is the kind of foolishness that you have to then that men now who really have their things together and that stuff together can really look at these women and say she's full of crap. You understand? So here you go to a woman like Kamala Harris, and she said, "Well, I'm not going to basically, do none of that. I'm going to get straight." And what she did was she decided that, okay, well, let me just see how my zaddy going to treat me. Okay, because now she's in a power position. You're being the vice president of the United States. That's a huge thing for a white man who really don't have anything. Look at all of the white men who are in relationships with black women, and you'll find out that they basically don't really have anything going for themselves. These are white men who have fell within their own race that white women who are on a upscale level do not want. So they would get with a black woman and basically this, and then basically if she has some type of career or money and stuff like that, the same way with black men. Black men, a white woman's going to date you if you got a NFL contract or some type of movie role deal. They're basically going to go after you because that's what their fathers say. I don't like you dating no nigger, but if he has a NBA or an NFL contract, bring him over here for dinner because so we can talk sports. And after he just signed that 20-50 million deal to pay with a football and basketball team. This is what we're talking about when we basically know that our mentality is screwed up. I mean, did y'all look at? I told y'all that I showed y'all Gabby Sidibe's zaddy. Don't he look like he's a general manager at O'Reilly's? Yeah, he look like he's the general manager of O'Reilly's. He's not no white dude that has this huge mega business, or he's not working for a Fortune 500 company. No, he look like some white dude who was the like I said the either the manager at O'Reilly's or could be the lead at his father's construction company. You got to understand how you basically look and build a partner. And we got a lot of people in the black community who do not know how to choose a mate. They're going by, how thick a woman is, and the woman is going by his height, shoe size. Oh man, he's good in the bed, or the cuteness of a boy. This is totally ridiculous. And that's the reason why our relationships don't last long in the black community. All right, so we're going to get to it. Let's hear Kevin Hart. Is Kevin Hart funny? Hold on, where's this music coming from? Hold on, hold up, hold up. All right, all right. So Kevin Hart, Kevin Hart. That's today's subject today. Kevin Hart, and talking about his comedy special on Netflix. Zero F Givings, is that what it is? Something like that. Kevin Hart have to basically know how to take criticism. Okay, you got to know how to take criticism. A lot of people say Kevin Hart is not funny. Kevin Hart, you're just not funny in certain instances. You do all this foolish and ignorant stuff that makes white people laugh. That's the reason why you got this Netflix special. White people think that these little dumb, silly little jokes about your family, and you do these crazy, insulting antics that just don't make people laugh. Kevin Hart, go back and look at the material. Now, Kevin Hart have had a few um, you know a few stand-up routines, and Kevin Hart responded to Katt Williams and Tariq Nasheed, among other people, because of his backlash about him not being funny in his recent comedy special for Netflix. Now, I told you all that Kevin Hart, that certain types of people in the black community, you see, you have to understand what is natural, that you're a comedian with natural ability, or when somebody just say that you're funny. Like Kevin Hart was kind of like that black dude who went to an all white school, and all the white people just laugh at his stupid jokes, and they're like, "Oh, you're funny," blah blah. But it was these kind of Amos and Andy's routine that he did back in high school and stuff like that that made the white people laugh. But Kevin Hart always talking about his kids, always talking about his daddy, always talking about dumb stuff. He's making fun of his own family and stuff. It's like, dude, this is not funny. You know what I'm saying? It's a bunch of Amos and Andy rhetoric routine. It's a bunch of just downright ignorant, foolish, slave, acting type crap. How black people were entertaining. See, black people have been entertaining white folks since slavery, and it's kind of like the same kind of routine that we see. When we see people like Kevin Hart doing his specials and talking about his daughter. This is a man that says that his daughter was stupid just because she got hit in the face and head with some balls by her brother. I mean, Kevin Hart, really? My daughter was just taking the balls in the face. This is the stuff that he says. He had a comedy special that where he talked about dropping his baby and all this old stuff. Kevin, you understand why Katt Williams and Tariq Nasheed is talking about you, man? You're talking silly. You're talking slave like, just like the white people like to basically just look at your antics, your ridiculous comedy routine, if you call it that, and they're like, man, dude, you're laughing. You just said it's just like being in a comedy show, looking at them, and you see all the white people just laughing, and you like, well, what the hell is they laughing for? It's kind of like that, you see. But he talked about his daughter getting hit with balls, calling his daughter a hoe, and all this old stuff. I'm like, Kevin, man, you're doing too much here. Okay, these dad jokes are just not funny, Kevin. Kevin, Kevin Hart, you got to understand your antics. You basically is trying to amuse white people who are looking at you the same way that they looked at us during slavery. It's kind of just ridiculous, man. Did you see this ridiculous, foolish comedy routine that he did? I mean, I'm with Tariq. After 10 minutes, I just had to cut it off, man. And people actually go and see him do the same thing, talking about how stupid and how dumb his kids is, and talking about his daughter's a hoe and all this. Kevin, stop. Okay. But Kevin Hart responded to the backlash, y'all. He responded to people calling his daughter a hoe, and then he basically got upset because he said that this was reference to black women as well, according to the information coming from Wendy Williams. Now, Kevin Hart basically will do these dumb, silly comedy routines and people like ha 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 white folks just yeah, well, this is a funny nigger. No, he's really not. He's really not. Kevin is really not funny. Okay, it's the same thing with Tiffany Haddish. And I mean, just answer the question: was Tiffany Haddish really funny in Girls Trip? No, man, come on, man. I mean, she was acting all loud and ghetto. This is the type of personality that they want us to basically, you got to you watch this stuff in films and movies, and this is the type of crazy ignorant stuff that white people like. It's because we're acting stupid, we're acting loud and ghetto and stuff like that. It was nothing funny about Girls Trip. Not really. Not coming from Tiffany Haddish. You understand? And it's like her and Kevin Hart are just not funny. Let's read, Now again, fair use. I got my fair use disclaimer. Go ahead and hit that like button. If you're on Instagram, YouTube, go ahead, hit the notification bell. The article goes in to say that Kevin Hart addresses backlash over a joke about daughter's dating behavior. Okay, he's not even a good parent. Already saying that, hey, my daughter got hoe-like tendencies. What kind of father says this? Really? Up on Netflix, dropping Kevin Hart's newest stand-up, particular Zero F's Given. There was a web debate about whether or not he is nonetheless humorous. Okay, his routine link align council culture, fame, and household life. However, for some viewers, it didn't hit the correct notes. One among Hart's bigs about his teenage daughter rubbed some folks the improper manner, and he wound up addressing it on social media twice. What Kevin Hart stated about his daughter, filmed in the lounge at Hart's home, Zero F's Given, featured a small mask up viewers for the hour-long set. The comedian introduced up his kids a couple of occasions through the efficiency, and at the one level, he touched on his daughter courting habits. Okay, okay. Oh my God. Hart spoke on 15-year-old Heaven fecal nature and known as her boy looping, operating down how she crushed on her three completely different boys in a span of per week. Hart informed the viewers about the third one, Tim. One thing clicked in his thoughts. Immediately in my thoughts, I stated a daughter's a hoe. That is hoe shit, is what he said. Hoe exercise proper in entrance of my face, he joked. Hart added that he checked in with a hoe from his previous to confirm the habits and concluded his daughter was on the trail. However, then he stated after seeing all three guys, he might perceive why she had bothered deciding between them. Okay, whoever wrote this article. The viewers ate it up and laughed. for varied causes. Some on social media didn't. Okay. Hart. So here's this dude. He basically not even giving his female daughters any kind of direction as to, you know what I'm saying, what type of guys you date. You know, how to be respectful, you know, how to, you know, make sure these guys are treating you. You're a young 15-year-old girl. And he's already telling the world, oh, my daughter's a hoe. You know what I'm saying? You guys, you know, I mean, if you want to do this, he's already advertising that as a father. That's crazy, man. Okay. Then he said, "Oh, we're gonna look back at some other hoes, and basically they would tell you if your daughter is a hoe or not, or she's on her way of being one." Kevin, come on, man. The article goes on to say that Clubhouse, the invitation only social media app, turned a hub when Hart popped in a chat room known as Is Kevin Hart Funny? To speak about his newest particular. He promoted the Netflix gig, gave out some enterprise recommendations, and interacted with these within the app. Some commentators expressed their dissatisfaction with what he's stating about his daughter and stated he was degrading ladies, a sexist, and feeding into the damaged stereotypes about black ladies when he made feedback about black folks tearing down their very own. He was accused of gaslighting. The dialogue then spilled over to Twitter on Saturday, November 28th. The place followers proceed to be divided, and a few are stating Hart was dismissive towards ladies on the apps. You see, he's talked about don't go there. You know what I'm saying? Me talking about black women, blah blah. Don't say that I'm saying this. Okay, Kevin, man, come on. This is very much, you know, this is I mean, he's doing good because as he says, he does not have another way to promote his material. I get that. You know, because of COVID-19, you can't advertise where you want to go, you can't do tours in other places. So he said that the only way to get attention to his comedy special, as you saw or as you see, is basically denigrating his own daughter, or basically talking about his own family. You know, oh, you know, my daughter's a hoe. Ha 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 ha. Come over here and see my comedy special on Netflix. Oh my God, man, this is crazy. Hart reiterated his stance on Instagram. Not lengthy after the Clubhouse section, Hart posted a video on Instagram to emphasize. Who wrote this? The jokes about his daughter has been all comedy, and he wasn't bashing ladies within the chat. Seized with the false narrative, he stated, when you have been within the clubhouse and a part of the dialogue, this wasn't about black ladies, okay? Hart stated his jokes have been a part of being artistic. He added that he was in the clubhouse to advertise his work and to have dialogue around it for the reason that the pandemics prevented conventional strategies of promoting. Okay, there he go. He needs to this monogamous accusations to seize, and with slightly folks that stream the particular on Netflix, we gotta seize. Okay, whoever wrote this article, what is this? Unfold Times. Y'all need some more writers, okay? Y'all, I'm just saying, y'all need some more writers, okay? All right, so Hart spoke on 15-year-old Heaven Freakle. Oh, so I already read that. But anyway, you know, this is crazy. But Kevin Hart responded to Tariq Nasheed, among others. Says, please remind me why your feedback should matter again. I think I've done pretty well for myself by doing this comedy. That's not funny. Good luck to you and whatever it is that you do, though. Power to the people. But Tariq Nasheed said, I like Kevin Hart. He's a real cool guy. But his new Netflix stand-up special, Zero F Givens, was not funny, Nasheed said. I had to just cut it off after 10 minutes. So did I. This was not funny, Kevin. It was just degrading your daughter and tearing down your family. This is what you got to do in order to make it in white society. This is what we're talking about. If we got Kamala Harris, who was actually showing the same thing, how she had to sell out and sleep her way to the top. She's actually showing women that this is what you do. But then you got Kevin Hart, who's actually just talking about his young daughter. I mean, this society of black people, we gotta be very, very, very just. I mean, do we want this much attention that we have to just degrade ourselves? I mean, it's just. We want attention from white daddy and white mommy so bad that we're willing to say anything and do anything. We're willing to sleep in and all this. It is just degrading, man. It's just degrading. More when we come back here. Um, all right. So speaking of Tiffany Haddish, okay, we basically here's the stereotype of her being loud and ghetto, just loud and ghetto. Just being loud and ghetto is what a lot of white people perceive of black women as being when they're out in public. You got to look at this as being something that they're actually making money off of here. And Tiffany Haddish, again, same thing with her and Kevin Hart. It's like we allow these two and other people within the entertainment business to just you're supposed to be comedians. I remember when comedians used to be basically natural in their comedy. We have comedians who are just basically natural. Okay, Chris Tucker is a natural comedian, but you see how they railroad and destroyed him. Okay, Chris Tucker was actually did an interview with Ti on Expeditiously. You all go hear that. I have not saw the interview, but I'm going to go and basically look at it as well. What happened to Chris Tucker? Okay, you see, when white people do not, if you don't do certain types of things, they destroy your career real quick. Okay, then they start trying to blame you, talking about that you owe all kinds of taxes and stuff like that. And you have the IRS, who have a lot of Jewish people that runs and controls it, and then it's also aligned with Hollywood, that is also owned by more of your Jewish people. So they align themselves, and anytime a black person says something in comedy that they don't like, or they can't, screw you over and stuff like that, they start to then engage in using the system against you. And this is the reason why white supremacy is very dangerous. Here's the thing. Like I said, Chris Tucker is a natural comedian. That dude that Tyler Perry used, David Mann, he was born to be a comedian. You got others out there. A lot of people who try to be comedians are just not funny. You see, Kevin Hart was one of these black dudes who went to an all-white school, and he was the class clown, and all these white people, kids in class, was laughing at his silly ass, clownish, routines while they were in school, and he basically, just made it to comedy after he basically graduated or whatever he did to get there. And it's like, dude, a lot of white people buy into that slave kind of acting routine. Okay. But you had people who were comedians, who were natural comedians. Like I said, The one who played with Ice Cube on Friday. You know, damn, I forget his name. Someone help me out here in the chat. YouTube, help me out. Facebook, help me out. I forget his name. Mike Epps. There you go, Mike Epps. Mike Epps is a natural comedian. Katt Williams, again, Katt Williams called out Kevin Hart. Dude, you're not funny, man. That was a foolish, ignorant special. Now, Katt Williams' special was really good on Netflix. Katt Williams made you laugh. Katt Williams said a lot of things that people were like, what I'm saying, it was funny. Okay, and Netflix like to basically do things backwards. It likes to bring these comedians like Amy Schumer and pay her all this money when they know she's not funny, and basically, it's like, come on. And then you have Monique, who has a lawsuit against Netflix because she was more funnier than Amy Schumer. But then you want to say, well, what I'm saying, I'm going to only give you $500,000. Come on, man. Who y'all think that y'all fooling here? And Netflix have been, like I said, Netflix have been called out in their other commentaries that they're suspect. And I'm still trying to figure out, because when the government went after them about this new film that they just released on as far as cuties, I'm still trying to figure out why what's his name, Ted Sarando, those or whatever the other guy is, the owners of Bill Hastings, this dude. I'm still trying to figure out how can the government goes after them about a movie of child exploitation, but you don't basically arrest the people who are supposed to be arrested when they're engaging in criminal activity for releasing the movie Cuties, but you just say that the company that you're suing the company. Wait, hold on. If it's a criminal activity, you're supposed to go after the CEOs. You're supposed to be presidents and people getting arrested for releasing this child film Cuties, and you basically says no, we're just going to go after the company criminal and they have to pay a fine. See, this is the kind of stuff. But see, had this been a black film studio, they would have went after the filmmaker, they would have went after the CEOs, they would have went after that and charged them criminally. This is what we're talking about. When Netflix did Cuties, that film basically was sexual exploitation. The government said that. Then they're going to try to renege because they don't want to put, these people who got money in jail. Okay. How can you indict a company? You can't indict the company. You got to indict its shareholders. You got to indict its CEOs. You got to indict the management. You can't just indict a company. A company is a damn building. But anyway, it's the same old thing with Netflix. Netflix basically is showing you that they're not going to pay you. That's what Dave Chappelle was talking about. You ran the man's television show without, basically paying him anything. Now you might say, well, he signed that deal. True, he did. That's another thing. Black folks have to start looking at their contracts. We get into these foolish and ignorant contracts. White daddy, white mama bring us something. We all excited. And then when you sign the contract, you see that it doesn't really offer you anything. And then you get all upset about it. Well, I mean, come on, you got to understand. All right, so Instagram, you will be losing us in 23 seconds. You can also tune in on YouTube at Lawyer Henderson TV. Instagram is letting me go in 15 seconds. That's fine. Facebook, you're still there. YouTube, you're still there. Lawyer Henderson TV Live. Now, here's the thing about Netflix that people have to understand. You have to screw the art, the artists have always been screwed over so that the company can make money. The company make money when it's screwed over. Okay, so Netflix is screwing over black artists all the time, just like movie studios do, just like we do it to black people. We do this all the time. The contracts that we sign, that there was some issues with P. Diddy in the music industry. We basically just do not look at our contracts. I think it's more of let's just hurry up and write a deal so that I can get this, and hopefully I get paid. And then when they get when they get all of the money, you run out because you think that cash is wealth. And cash is not wealth, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Cash is not necessarily wealth. Told you. I've explained to you that when a person come to you and say, I want to buy your business, do not sell the business to them unless the money is really straight, because cash is not wealth. $150,000 is not wealth as you think. 250,000, $2 million, that's not wealth. Okay, that's only cash money. It's only liquid at the time that when it's in your hand. Okay, that's the reason why a lot of times black people are willing to take cash over wealth, and because they think that the paper money is something that they basically can feel proud of. But when you take the money and you invest it into stocks and bonds and mutual funds, then it turns into wealth. It turns into substantial amount of wealth as well. Okay. Well, let's go to um, again, because our subject today, we're talking about Kevin Hart. Now, this will just it's all just to keep the gimmicks going inside the industry, so that people could just tune in and this give you ratings, and people start buying your stuff and all this sort of things. You start talking and gossiping and stuff like you like to do. But this is not the first time that Katt Williams have went in on Kevin Hart, you know. And so we'll talk about that as well. I get ready to play the next, to read the next story here. Get the lights up. Now, before I read the stat story, I want to talk to y'all about what Gary Owens said when he, back in 2008, co-signed, agreeing with Katt Williams on Tiffany Haddish not being funny. It says that Gary Owens co-signs Katt Williams, says Tiffany Haddish isn't funny. Okay, this was September of 2018. Gary Owens backed up fellow comedian. Man, what is going on? This is the reason why we don't visit websites like this. Hold on, y'all. Let me get this. Let's see what this is. All right. So I put this on mute. And if it come on again, I am going to just cut off the video. So here we go. So Gary Owens agrees with Katt Williams that Tiffany Haddish is just not funny. Okay. Gary Owens backed up fellow comedian Katt Williams, who tense interview on V103 Frank and Wanda show went viral last week. Williams, 47, this comedian actress Tiffany Haddish says she read a script in the movie Girls Trip, but she has never proven herself as a comedian. Saturday Night Live star Leslie Jones called out Kevin Hart after he went on a verbal tirade against Williams last week. Hart accused Williams of not supporting female comedians. At least Katt put me on his tour. Kevin could have put me on a long time ago, but he never respected me or my comedy and trusted I can call his car. He know I said, Jones said. Comedian Gary Owens co-signed Williams, saying Haddish is just not funny. She's been doing comedy since she was 16. You can't tell me your favorite Tiffany Haddish joke. Why? Because she ain't done a tour yet. She ain't done a special. She has not proven the ability to tell jokes back to back for an hour to nobody. He said in a podcast. Owens said Haddish stole the show in the movie Girls Trip, but he added she is not established comedian. Haddish liked Owens' video when it showed up on her Twitter.com timeline. Okay. So Gary Owens is saying that Tiffany Haddish is just not funny as well. Just he is saying it. Katt Williams is backing her up. I think Tiffany Haddish is more, like I said, she tried to act ghetto in a sense, and that's not always funny. It's not always funny to be stereotypical. I think that that's where they was. If we can get her to basically get some new writers, perhaps, I think if she got new writers, she will be funny at that point. She would basically be killing it in a game. I mean, I know I'm not trying to disrespect her. I'm just saying she just need new writers. And once she get those new writers, she will be good to go. Okay. Now, Katt Williams goes off on Kevin Hart. I'll knock your mouth. Williams had reacted to Kevin Hart's recent Breakfast Club interview, and while he didn't respond to Hart's exact claim regarding drug use and spottering away his career, he did make it clear that things could get physical the next time they see each other. After calling Hart a snitcher on Instagram Live, Williams claimed that night school actor pays Los Angeles gang members for protection. Even still, Williams is ready to go toe to toe. I was just in the gym and I headed to Mayweather's. I'ma knock your M&F mouth sideways, F boy. I ain't Stephen A. Smith. I'm really out here in these M&F street, my Nigga. Smith and Hart recently engaged in a friendly debate over Philadelphia sport teams on ESPN First Take. Okay, Williams then took shot at Hart's web series Cold as Balls. Ain't nobody concerned you keep going in cold freezing water with other Niggas in they draws, said Williams. Check out the video clip below. While defending Tiffany Haddish and other comedians, William lambasted the week prior. Hart accused the It's Pimpin' comedian of choosing drugs over his career. My frustration with Katt Williams comes from you keep pointing at Hollywood. Hollywood this, the white man this and that, this and this. When you are going to take responsibility for your actions, you had the shot. You were the guy. You were set up to be the star. You didn't show up to work. You F off promo shoots. You effed up off your promo trips that they set up for you. You became a risk to the studio. Which is why the studio stopped effing with you. Okay, I think that's what Katt Williams. Carla was saying. Kevin Hart was saying about Katt Williams. Now, here's the thing about a lot of this back and forth. What we've been saying about Kevin Williams. Now, I think that Katt Williams. No, I'm sorry, what we've been saying about Kevin Hart, but I think Katt Williams, though, is really a person who learned comedy the same way that Mike Epps um, and Chris Tucker learned it. They learned it from being a natural hood dude. That's how they learned it. And I think basically when you go Hollywood and in the studio and stuff like that, it's a whole new thing because even though the white boys want your work, they want to make money off of your stuff. I think you have to also understand that a lot of people want you to keep it real and stuff like that. But the studios come along and try to switch it up. And I think that Katt Williams is not a person who likes to switch his material out. Okay. Kevin Hart is basically one of those people who are willing to do that, but he is not really the kind of comedian that people really want to hear from, especially in the black community. Like I said, white people will listen to Kevin Hart all day. They were sit down in front of their TV and say, "Hey, pop in a Kevin Hart stand-up show," and that basically will make them laugh. It will make them think about, their stories about when their grandparents and great grandparents told them about Reconstruction or slavery. You see, and that's the reason why Kevin Hart is basically a studio comedian. Okay, almost like being a studio gangster if you're in the music industry. Okay, so what we have to understand is we got to understand that Kevin Hart has never ever really made the black community laugh in such. Now, certain types of things, yes, he did. In certain instances. But then it gets very dull for a while before he makes us laugh again. You understand? So I think that if when you first start off and you basically have the studio all in supporting you, that first video, that first comedian comment show is funny as hell, supposedly. Okay, but then when you start getting inside the show, I mean, you start doing it for a while, then you're approached by movie studios or Netflix or what have you. They start to basically dumb down your jokes. They start to make certain types of jokes turn into antics about your own kids or your own wife or your girlfriend, or just like I said in Kevin Hart's situation, your daughter's a hoe. You understand? The studio bosses like to say, yeah, that's the type of stuff that black people like to hear. Yeah, that sell. And so you got a lot of these white, corny white men in acquisitions who are making these decisions. And I think that they don't understand is that now people are evolving. They want to see something different now. And instead of the typical comedy routine or the typical film like we see in Hollywood coming from movie studios. Lionsgate did the same thing with Tyler Perry. I think what we have to understand is that Kevin Hart is more trying to be commercial in his comedy, which is good, but Katt Williams bring that hood type, funny, energetic, that joke that you said in the hood ragging on people type comedy. And I think if Katt Williams basically is now moving, wanting to become commercial, but he basically is not really used to dealing with all of these antics that the white boys want him to say. He wants to basically be in control of his working material, and that worked for Katt Williams. You understand? Kevin Hart do not know how to take criticism. And when you're trying to be a comedian in your commercial, you got to be able to take criticism. And Kevin Hart's backlash on that was I mean that his upset of people critiquing him. It shows you that he just basically cannot take constructive criticism. Nobody is saying. See, that's what we have to stop doing as black people. Just because another black person say that your stuff is not good, that's not a sign of hatred. That's, oh, you're hating. No, I'm just critiquing what it's not funny. I'm just saying that you wasn't funny. I'm saying that your special was not funny. Just let it be that. That's my opinion. But don't get upset and say I'm hating just because I critiqued your comedy special or I critiqued your film. A lot of people critiqued my movie, Governor's Daughters. Oh, it was crazy. It was crap. You were throwing clips together. Okay, now I know that was the critique. I have to do better. But Kevin Hart cannot take criticism. He just basically cannot do it. And he's talking about his own daughter and putting down his own daughter and saying that she has hoe tendencies. Oh, come on, what do you expect? Now what is she going to do and what's she going to think as she get older? Well, because I grew up looking at his comedy specials calling me a hoe. So the girl, his daughter's talking to three guys. Okay, the ideal is to try to find out which one probably will be suitable for her to date. And so therefore, sometimes that do happen. Okay. But yes, you got to be the father and tell them, look, you can't be messing with three dudes. Okay. You got to hurry up and find out which one is real quickly. Find out which one you're going to be in a relationship with. In fact, you're 15. You should not be, in a relationship anyway. You should be waiting until you get at least 18 or 17 or 18 before you start dating. Okay, but that's just me. I'm glad I don't have kids because my daughter will probably have to wait till she get 18. Okay, but my thing is that Kevin Hart says all kinds of just ignorant, foolish things and think it's funny. These antics are not funny, Kevin Hart. You basically had a few shows, yes, that made people laugh. Got to do better in writing your jokes. Message about you, Kevin. Even in that movie that you did with The Rock, that wasn't really funny. I'm like, man, what was it, Central Intelligence? And I bought the movie. I thought I was going to hear I thought I was going to really laugh in that film. And I didn't know if it was going to, excuse me, that it was supposed to be a funny film or not. But you basically describe it, um, the artwork, suggested it could have been comedy. You know, so we got to be very, very, very serious about our craft. And we have to also now be very serious about the contract deals that we basically are engaged in. That's the reason why Dave Chappelle wanted us to boycott his own show. He's not getting paid for it. But yet Netflix is receiving millions of dollars of his shows screaming on their site, their website, Netflix itself. And he's not getting paid one dime. And it was him who had the right to call out and say, hey, Netflix, stop screaming my show. Just take it off. If you're not going to pay me some royalties, just take it off. I know I signed a bad deal, but now I'm saying the deal is not going. I don't like it. Stop screaming my stuff. You know what I'm saying? A man and a woman should be able to get paid for their stuff, unless they have an agreement that says that you'll get paid on the back end, which is a deferred pay agreement. It's not wrong with that either. Okay, as long as you get your money if it's due. Excuse me, guys. All right. So as you know, and so we're going to go ahead and wrap things up here. All right, if you're on Instagram, go ahead and hit that like button. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to hit the notification bell. It will let you know that I'm coming on live. We're talking about Kevin Hart is not funny. His antics in weak comedy is criticized by Katt Williams. Also, like I said, Tariq Nasheed said that it was not funny. After 10 minutes, Nasheed said that he had to change this channel. He had changed the channel, Kevin Hart, because you were not funny, my man. You were not funny at all. But the Lawyer Henderson show will be on tomorrow. The Lawyer Henderson show we probably won't come on tomorrow, but we'll be on all of this week. We actually will be on Thursday, Friday, and we might come on Saturday, but I know we'll be on Sunday. But just make sure that you listen all week long. You can call in as well at any time that we're on. 516-418-5867 is the number to the show. And this is going to wrap it up for us. I want to thank everybody for listening. Don't forget you can download this segment on blogtalkradio.com. We are also coming soon to iTunes and SoundCloud.com as well with all of our incredible shows that we did in the past. You can download, watch, listen, subscribe to the interviews. Lawyer Henderson TV, Lawyer Henderson Podcast. And also don't forget to buy the book Foolish American Politics. Let's discuss the issues. A book by myself. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for us here on the Lawyer Henderson Show. I want to thank all of my guests and everybody who basically is out there listening to the Lawyer Henderson Show. Don't forget that you can subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the button on the Instagram, Facebook, we have it, and also leave your comments on Facebook, where we also send out comments on Facebook, Twitter, on the Lawyer Henderson Show. Tell us what you think, and we will be reading those comments once you basically send them in. You can go to cinemacitypictures@gmail.com and tell us about a show idea that you want us to talk about on the Lawyer Henderson Show. And that's going to do it for us.